What's up, guys? It's Jake Lewis. Today we're going to go over mixing vocals, and we're using my song Back It Up as today's example. So let's get straight into it. So I'm going to play the hook of the song so you can hear what it sounds like and just catch a vibe. So let's do it.
Whoa, back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up. Okay, that's enough. Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up. Okay, that's enough.
So I think the mix sounds pretty dope. So we're just going to dive straight into to the chain and see what I did. To start with, what's not shown here is I was recording through the Apollo Twin with the Slate ML-1. And with the Apollo Twin, I had compressors on my vocal going in. So it's printed with compression from the UAD LA2A. I'm already compressing the vocal. So you're going to notice on my chain, I only have one compressor going, honestly. And it sits in the mix like pretty well. So the first thing we got is the VMR, the virtual mix rack from Slate. This comes with the Slate ML-1 Microphone. These are all their emulations. I went with the C800 emulation, of course. And now I got the WA 8000, which sounds amazing. So I don't need this anymore. But this was great at the time. And as you can tell, I mean, it sounded pretty good. And then right after that, the first thing I think you should always do is put your Autotune on if you're using Autotune. I would not do like any mixing ahead of the Autotune plugin. Always do Autotune first, and always make sure to have use low latency unticked once it's on like the track that it's living in. Obviously, while you're recording, you're going to want to use low latency. But I notice when I have use low latency ticked on the Autotune, I get like a lot of artifacts and like popping and clicking randomly, and especially on S's, that'll happen a lot. It's just something I've noticed over time. So definitely make sure to untick that. So right after that, the first thing I do is de-ess. And one thing with de-essers, I used to always think the S's were living between like 6K and like 12K. And some definitely do live there. That's where like a lot of like sizzling happens. But I think most of the sharpness and like annoyingness of an S is actually between like 4K and like 5.2K. So definitely look in that area first. That was like the cheat code for me. And like everything above like 5K honestly sounds pretty good most of the time, as long as the recording is good. So after the de-esser, we run into this SSL channel. Honestly, on my template that I have for my recording sessions and mixing sessions, I have the SSL channel on like pretty much every track, and they're all just like cutting around 70. And sometimes I don't even use it. Like on this record, I just didn't even use it. I just had it cutting some low end, and that's about it. But other than that, there's really no use for this plugin. It's just kind of there. For the hook, all there is 2 additional layers, one left and one right. They're hard pans, hard left, hard right. And I got pretty much the same thing going on here. Yeah, the VMR, Autotune, de-esser. We got the SSL, except it's actually doing something. So let's hear what it's doing. Solo these. Disable. Yeah.
Okay, that's enough, back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
I really just made it like more telephony. It's taking out a lot of low end. So yeah, you can see right down here around 560 hertz, I was taking out quite a bit. It was a pretty narrow dip, 5.4 decibels going down. And then I took out 1.4K probably because it was getting a little sharp. And then we got around 6.9K, a few dB getting taken out of there, probably just a little bit of sharpness that I didn't want. And then taken out a bit at 260. I noticed in like the 200 to 300 range, there's like a lot of boominess that really isn't needed. So I like to take that out a lot. And, oh, damn, on my high pass, I'm all the way up to 331. So yeah, I guess the way I was thinking about it was a telephone effect.
Back it up.
And to add some like texture to the lead vocal.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up.
All right, now let's go down to the bus. This is where a lot of the heavy lifting goes. It's where the magic happens. So the first thing we got is the Pro Q.
Back it up. I don't really know you.
And I didn't know this trick at the time, but change this from 0 latency to natural phase. It sounds better.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that.
You'll get phasing issues with 0 latency, I mean, as long as your computer is decent, like you don't need zero latency. Natural phase is fine. So I notice things sound better when I switch it to natural phase, and you probably will too. So definitely do that.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
Yeah, I definitely made some aggressive cuts here. And like I said, around 200 to 300, that area is like terrible. It could also just be the space that I record into. There's just a build up around that range. But yeah, if we listen real quick.
Back it up.
Yeah, it's that ooh, we don't want that. And down here, I'm sure we got a hoo going. Yeah. Yeah, we don't want that. And I didn't want to take out too much of it because it doesn't happen too often, right? Like if we listen. Yeah, right there it happened. So I dynamically EQ'd that part, and the dynamic EQ is set to about around -2. And then we just got some more zones over here if we listen. These are zones that end up being problems most of the time, I've noticed. Yeah, that's like honky and like just not pleasing at all. Yeah, that we don't like that ringing. Up here, so around like 1.5K in this area, there's usually a lot going on that if you get rid of it, it can soften things up, but you can easily overdo it, so don't overdo it. Yeah, that's just not pleasing. You don't want that.
I don't really know you like that, so back.
Yeah, and that is just like really harsh. So another key zone is 3K, around 3K and also 4K. Those zones can be like really harsh. So you got to make sure to look out for those and duck those out if they're starting to stick out a lot. Like yeah, right over here, 4K-ish. That's terrible. That's terrible. So I definitely narrow cut that. But gave a little boost in the top end just to give some sparkle to the vocal. And then we're on to our compressor, our only compressor in the chain, really. The classic Wave CLA-76, the bluey side.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it
up. Let's get the beat back.
I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me.
So with the CLA-76 compressor, all variants of the 76 do this. The attack and release times, they're swapped. So the slowest attack time is actually 1, whereas the fastest attack time is actually 7, and same for the release. So that's why they're kind of opposite here. It's not super closed off. It's actually very open. So the release is pretty fast, and the attack is pretty slow. And another trick with the 76 is like between the final 2 dots approaching 7, that's where like most of the action is, especially for vocals. That's where most of the action is, and you can get a lot of like character change and like put vocals in a completely different pocket just from switching it from like here to here. And we could actually play it and listen to that.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up.
When it's all the way, when it's at the fastest release setting, super punchy, super forward, and like honestly like kind of bright too. And then as you slow down the release, the darker it gets and the more just like tamed it becomes.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming up.
Yeah, so if you want your vocal to be more forward, slap this on there, put it at the fastest release setting, and then play with your attack. Honestly, I like the vocals when I'm using this plugin, at least for the most part, to be like open, especially if they're rap vocals. I want it to sound very open and wide. So that's why I have the attack super slow and the release pretty fast. I think the release was like around here, but yeah, the attack is like pretty slow too.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up.
That's a huge difference. Just switching from here to here, you can hear a huge difference.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
Like when it's over here, when the attack is like super fast, it's like it just feels like the vocal is like stuck back here, if that makes any sense. And then when you slow down the attack, the vocal is like attacking you like this. So listen for that again.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back.
I mean, that's clear as day. That's clear as day. So much more open and so much more forward.
Back it up.
More aggressive.
Back it up. I don't really know you.
So this is a saturator from T-Rax. It's called the Saturator X. And this is a great plugin. Each one of these settings has its own kind of character. I usually end up gravitating towards tape 1 or tape 2. Tape 1 is like, it's like kind of mid-rangey, and it like will tame your low end. Whereas tape 2 is kind of like, it feels richer in the low end and kind of like shaves off a little bit of the top end. So it does like a little EQ thing, and then also just like almost compresses your vocal too. Let's just hear how it sounds. And I always have oversampling on for the most part.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up. Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
I mean, that makes the vocal cut a lot. This plugin does a lot. And you'll notice too, our headroom is the same. We're peaking at around the same because the input is at 5.2 and the output's at 5.2. So we're going in the same way we're coming out.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up.
Yeah, just way richer. So if we switch it to like tape 2, it's gonna sound a little darker.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up.
Yeah, there's like a little more low end, like maybe around like 3 to 500 hertz, like in that range. It's like poking out a little bit more on tape 2.
Back it up. I don't really know you like. Back it up. I don't really know you like that.
Especially on the I don't really know you like that. That is where you can really hear it. Let me go in here.
I don't really know you like that. I don't really know you like that.
Yeah.
I don't really know you like that. I don't really know you like that.
But yeah, for this record, I felt like tape 1 was the best setting and just helped to cut through the mix a little bit more. After the saturator, we had the de-esser. This one is the Eiosis De-esser. I think I'm saying it right. I don't know if I'm saying it right, to be honest. But for this one, since we took care of those S's down at like the 4.5K range, this is the one where I'm taming the upper range of the S's. So this one I'm placed around 6K, like 6.6K or something. And yeah, it sounds good. We'll listen to it without.
I heard you thinking next up, so I heard you thinking next up, so I heard you thinking next up, so back. I heard you thinking next up, so
yeah, on next up you can really hear it.
Thinking next up, so thinking next up, so back.
Definitely helps tame. That's a great de-esser. Another great de-esser, aside from the Eiosis and the that Waves de-esser, is the FabFilter Pro DS. That one is fantastic. And actually this new one that I've been using, the Harrison de-esser. Yeah, Harrison Audio, Harrison de-esser. This is a great de-esser as well. So if you're in the market looking for them, looking for a de-esser, those are good. Oh, one more actually. The, I think it's our de-esser. Yes, this de-esser right here. This is also a great de-esser. So that's like 5 right there that are really good. So right here we got the C6 from Waves. This is a great multiband compressor. I use this like 50% of the time on mixes. It's great for being able to shape your vocal, get it to sit in the mix a little bit better. The reason why I end up pulling it up is to control my low end, and I use this section over here a lot. This is basically like a bell. There's 2 of them. The one on the far right I usually use to de-ess. Meanwhile, the one on the left I use to tame the low end.
So back it up. Thinking next up, so back it up.
Let's see what it sounds like without it.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up. Back it up.
It does a lot. It takes out a lot of that low end rumble.
She She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up.
Yeah, it helps us sit back a little bit more. I think nowadays, honestly, this mix was done maybe like a year ago. I think nowadays I would probably leave a little bit more low end in the vocal. I really do like that natural feeling of the low end, like within a vocal. It sounds very human. But also for this song, I wanted it to sound super modern, and a lot of the modern mixes, like they don't have a lot of low end. It's like, it's very shiny. So that's kind of what I was going for. But yeah, I think if I were to do this mix now, I'd go with a little bit more low end in the vocal. So next in the plugin list, we got Fresh Air. This plugin is great, but it's super easy to overdo. Like, this is the max I'll use it at 4% for each thing. That's max. Let's hear what it sounds like without and then with. So this is without.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that,
With.
so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so
I mean, you really don't need more than that. You do more than that. Like, even this honestly might be a little bit too much. I would maybe dial it back. Like,
back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up. Okay, that's enough. Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
yeah.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking.
Yeah, I'd probably have it sit around here, but let's bring it back to where it was, 4 and 4.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
Yeah, this plugin just adds a lot of like high-end sparkle and shine that you might be missing, and it does it in a great way. So yeah, Fresh Air. This comes with Slate. Yeah, that's what it is, Slate. So yo, Slate has a lot of good plugins. Yo, and Slate also partnered with SSL. So now when you get the Slate subscription, you get the SSL like complete bundle as well, which is fantastic. It's a great value. So next on the plugin list, we got Lo-Fi. This is some secret sauce. I feel like it's not that much of a secret anymore. A lot of people use this now. I see it on YouTube a lot too. But so this is the Lo-Fi. It's native to Pro Tools, and literally what you do, just 0.1, or even just like keep the saturation down and just do 0.1 distortion. It will push whatever you put it on like forward just a little bit more, give it a little bit more grit and weight. And let's listen to it. 0.1 and 0.1. So this is without.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up.
Huge. That is huge. That is huge. This does a lot. This does a lot. Super underrated. Use this plugin, but use it sparingly, just like Fresh Air. And honestly, like a lot of these plugins, use them sparingly. So next up in the plugin list, we got the API 550B, fantastic EQ. Looks like I'm just doing some cutting here. -4 dB at 50 hertz and -2 at 3K. Let's listen to before and then after. This is before.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack.
Yeah, that does a lot. You can hear a lot of that low end rumble again. That I really. It's an art form, controlling that rumble, but without removing it too much to where you sound like not human and like you have no low end in your voice. You need that low end. Don't take out too much. But taking out that 4 dB at 50, that did a lot. And then I'm sure what happened was it was sounding a little too brittle. So then I cut out a little bit at 3K, and that just kind of brought it back to earth.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So this is a great plugin to use. You can definitely overuse this one as well. This is just great for shaping. This is a great shaping EQ. Highly recommend. And next up, we got the Q8. I used to use this plugin all the time. I would always use this last in the chain as like a surgical EQ to just dip out really annoying frequencies. So let's listen to what I was hearing.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
Yeah, woo, 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 woo. Taking that out. We didn't want that.
Back it up. I don't really know you.
Same thing here. That low end, woo, 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 we don't want.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
And that's like a tinny. It's like a tinny thing going on there. We don't want that. That's around 400 hertz. That's also a key frequency to look out for that tinny, that like, I don't know how to explain it. You heard it. It doesn't sound good.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
Yeah, that one's just like kind of a boxy, like, I don't know. It's like there's like a boxy thing going on around 600. So if you notice like a boxiness going on in your voice, look around 600.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
That's just annoying. We don't like that.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so
that's that 1.5K area again.
back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
That's that annoying stuff. We don't want that, bro.
Back it up.
Yeah, so basically the trick I use for these surgical EQs is I make it as narrow as possible, so like you can see the Q's at 100, and then I just boost it and I scan.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
Like that's annoying. We don't want that. 4.1K, that's annoying.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
3.4.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
Actually right there, 3.6. I think that's where we were before. Yeah,
back
right
it
here.
up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you.
And then as far as like the mixing chain, that's about it. And then I got really not that many effects on it either. I just have I have the UAD EMT reverb. So let's go look at that real quick.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming around with me, okay, so back it up. Okay, that's enough. Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
The trick with reverbs, with vocal reverbs, unless you're using the reverb as like a main effect where it has to be heard for it to make sense, I'm talking like a reverb that sets you in an environment. The way I like to go about it is set it low enough to where like you don't notice it when you actively are just like listening to the song and like vibing out to it. But if you took it away and like muted it, you'd be like, something just went missing. Like, what happened? That's how you know you got a pretty good level going on with the reverb. Same with delays too, honestly, unless it's like an effect where you're supposed to hear it, but more of like a textural thing or like to set you in a space. Yeah, that's the way I like to do it. Set it low enough to where if you took it away, you'll notice it's gone, but while it's there, you don't notice it. Then we got a quarter note delay. Negative 23, that's low.
Back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up. Okay, that's enough. Back it up.
Yeah, like especially on that back it up, bruh.
I heard you thinking, I don't really know you like that, so back it up.
That delay adds so much, but it's not overwhelming. It's very tasteful.
Back it up. Back it up. I don't really know you. Back it up.
Yeah, it just adds a lot of texture and adds some space to the mix too. So yeah, definitely don't have your effect sends too loud. The last thing we have on this vocal chain is parallel compression. I have this being sent to I think it's a mono aux. It might be a stereo. No, it is a mono aux. I like to have it in mono just to make sure it's completely up the middle. This is only to push the vocal forward from the center. So you never lose it during the mix. So you never lose sight of the vocal. It doesn't get lost in anything. So let's see what we got going on here. I always have a EQ on it just in case. I didn't use it in this case. I just slapped the Kramer Pi on it and slammed the shit out of it.
I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up.
Yeah, hitting around 7 dB of gain reduction. I have the decay time I have the decay time pretty slow. High compression ratio, and then I'm just compensated by a few dB extra on the output gain. All right, so let's listen to what the vocal sounds like without the parallel.
I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up. She coming to rock with me, okay, so back it up. I don't really know you like that, so back it up. I heard you thinking next up, so back it up.
It just feels a lot stronger. It just feels like it's not going back and forth like this. It's just staying like right here, right in your face. And that's exactly what you want from it. Definitely also don't overdo the parallel compression as far as like loudness. Like if I had it here,
back it up.
It's kind of crazy.
I don't really know you like that, so back
You
it
can really
up.
hear that.
I heard you thinking next
I had this one at
up,
negative
so back
17.
it up.
It's all relative though.
Coming to rock with me, okay, so pack it up.
So that just about does it for the vocal mixing in this video. Hopefully you learned some things from this. I want to pass on as much, knowledge as I can that I've acquired over the years. And hopefully a big thing you learned from this, if you learned anything at all, is less is more. Don't do too much. Don't overdo anything. Like these are all just like minor adjustments, you know what I'm saying? That ultimately result in like a great sound. So don't overdo things. Don't overthink it. Have fun. Do it. Sounds good. And that's about it. Thank you guys. Deuces.